Welcome back, League fanboys and fangirls, to another episode of Running Down Mid. As always, I am Exile, and with me is my right-hand man, Funzy. And, so...
Here we are, final week of MSI.
It's over with. MSI is come and gone. Big surprise, but SKT won.
Yeah, shocker, I think SKT did.
I was like, oh, wait, no,
it
no,
was
it wasn't.
thrilling stuff, real thrilling. G2 actually managed to take a game.
They did. They took Peanut off of Lee Sin and beat SKT with Lee Sin. I think SKT might have been sleeping, and half their team might have been in a coma that match, because then they just came back and won.
Well, let's not sell it short. Perks did manage to make Faker go 0-4 in the early game.
So he clapped Faker once. Good for him. He will now be able to hang that on his record.
Remember that one time?
Yeah, and he's going to be at the pubs, as they like to call it in EU, at the pubs. Remember when I clapped Faker? Yeah, good for you, Perks.
At least he was smart enough not to tweet about it beforehand and then have it blow up in his face.
True. True. Jensen. So with that being said, the MSI was a huge success. Just huge success all the way around for Riot.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun to watch. It was way longer. It was a bigger production value. They put it in a wildcard region, which was new for them. Not a big region homing the tournament, but Sao Paulo. So that was really nice to have Brazil host it.
And represented.
And it represented really well. The crowds there were phenomenal. I mean, their teams weren't in it, but every time, man, beating those Riot beating sticks and chanting really loud, it was great. It was a good time.
Yeah, and it's good to see that there's a lot of TSM fans down south.
Yeah, yeah. for what little bit they got to watch at TSM.
Yep.
With the success of MSI and the fact that everybody in Riot watches our show, the stuff that we pointed out last week, they came out with an answer for, and now Riot and League of Legends has officially withdrawn from all IEM tournaments. So IEMs, the Worlds at Katowice, that none of that's ever going to come about again. It's done.
And what does this mean for us?
So what does it mean? Riot is coming up with their own tournament series, starting off with this summer with Rift Rivals. So we are going to our top three teams from last spring split. So Phoenix 1, C9, and TSM will be playing against EU's top three teams, and I believe that was G2, Fnatic, and Unicorns of Love. So those are the teams that we'll be playing against to show who is better, North America or PU.
And every corresponding region has their own rival, like China and Korea, Vietnam and Taiwan and Brazil and Southern Brazil. I don't know.
And then Turkey against whoever's
CIS.
Not supermassive. So that's so. And Riot announced that the tournament, so that everybody gets a chance to enjoy the different rivals and the different matches, that there's going to be no overlap. But they haven't really specified the tournament structure, so
or
we don't
timings.
So we don't know if this is going to be a 96-hour bangarang where you could literally power watch it like it's Clockwork Orange and your eyes wide open, and just power through.
Can you imagine condensing all of MSI into one weekend?
It's just crazy. So I mean, right now they said there was going to be no overlappage, but they didn't extend out any dates, so it is just the one weekend. So I don't know how they're going to pull it off, to be honest. But it is nice.
It could be just quick round robins.
Yeah, it is going to be really nice because there's going to be a definitive winner. It gives everybody some more international experience.
And I hope this doesn't mess with like the All-Stars event, because I actually really like the All-Stars event and all the different game modes that they do, especially the two-person
but they announced it for
keyboard mouse.
Yeah, but they announced it. It's for the 4th of July weekend, which I don't get that either. Granted, only America celebrates 4th of July, but it's going to be like the middle of the summer split. So it's just really interesting that you're going to take our top three teams during the middle of a split.
Fly them over to Berlin because that's where
where they're going to be playing. Yeah, is in Berlin. So it's just really weird. It's a really weird structure. I don't know how they're all going to hammer it out because it was literally just announced today. And there's been a lot of news that's come out here lately because the start of the summer split doesn't happen this weekend, but it is next weekend, June 2nd. Yeah. So, that's when we rip it and start getting right back to it. So there hasn't been a whole bunch of shakeups for teams as far as teams go. FlyQuest or HighQuest has replaced Johnny Altec with a gentleman by the name of Freeze. He's been brought up from the Challenger Series, so I don't know why they're replacing him. They haven't really said, but he's been replaced. Altec was one of the two newer members to North America
and
LCS.
He didn't have a bad season, is what I don't understand. I guess there must be something going on behind the scenes. Maybe Altec just wants to pursue something else.
Yeah, who knows? FlyQuest is a tight knit group. They come from C9. There's really a lot of brotherly love and a lot of bonding. I mean, High even didn't live in the team house just so Altec could have his own room, so that he didn't feel like he was below the other members. So it's really weird to see that they
make
do
a change
all this
after,
and they make a change. Yeah,
and they didn't, like I said, they didn't perform bad in Spring Split. They performed as good as you can expect for a team that better. Just came to the LCS.
Because a lot of people, not just us, but a lot of pro commentators, pro people put FlyQuest down there at the bottom of the list, and they overperform.
And that's what makes me think that there was something else that's going on.
There has to be. But outside of that, good news is 4G is back on TL. So Golden Glue is back at their mid laner. There's no more mid-lit. No more fake lit. He is returning to ADC. Looks like Matt's still going to be their support. He had a big news report come out that him and Reckles from Fnatic in EU suffer from sports anxiety really, really bad. And that's why he underperformed this last season, was because of the sports anxiety.
And it's not the first time somebody on TL has had anxiety.
No.
I Will Dominate actually came out when he became a streamer and said that he used to literally play a game, go backstage and puke, and then come back out and play again because of how bad his anxiety was.
So maybe things will change for TL. I'm really looking forward to seeing Golden Glue. Originally,
post-Korea?
Yeah. Originally it was announced that TL fronted the money and sent him along his way. Then when he came back, he actually had this really nice long expose come out about it, where that was not the case, that TL said that they would keep him on the team and support him in his decisions, but he fronted all that money. So all of his pro money that he made, he literally turned around and invested all of that back into himself. And he begged and tried to find somebody to go with him, and he went over there by himself, not speaking a lick of the language.
He didn't go. He met up with some other players.
He met up with some other players, but he didn't go with anybody.
With a challenger team for Korea.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't like he was just by himself. But in hindsight, though, he came back to not a guaranteed spot too.
Not a guaranteed.
He tweeted that he was taking offers, so that means that he didn't have a solid spot when he came back. He had to earn that, and apparently he showed them that he learned some stuff in Korea.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really interesting. His story is incredibly interesting. So 4G, I'm really looking forward to 4G. I'm kind of a little hyped right now on TL because I like Lorlo. They have a solid team. There's no reason they should be bad.
Plus, they're just all around a good team to like.
They are. They have good guys.
They're
they have
one
good
of
ownership.
the older teams in LCS, so they've got a huge fan base, and they're one of the only teams that you actually get a full behind-the-scenes look at. Yeah. Like, there's a few teams that do it, and
they're incredibly transparent.
That makes you much more inclined to follow them because it lets you see that there is a struggle going on. These guys aren't just making money and sitting back. They're working their butts off.
Yeah. The only thing that I can say is TL, if you guys are looking for a support and you need a solid fat guy, 2 thumbs. I mean support.
Keep dreaming.
I could perform Matt quality.
Someday.
I could perform Matt quality, I think. That being said, Envious coach Dylan Falco has left Envious to join EU's team Fnatic. They got rid of their coach because Fnatic underperformed. They turned it around in playoffs.
Replacing Nico the Pico with Dylan Falco.
So you're replacing Nico the Pico, and he is getting torched over there in EU. If you guys don't know who Dylan Falco is, he's Envious's coach. Envious was the worst team in NA, and a lot of EU fans let him know. There's already a huge rivalry between EU and NA, and when you take NA's worst coach and bring him over to EU, one of their favorite teams, they are torching him over there, and I feel super bad for the guy.
Let's track Dylan Falco's career.
Let's track it.
Okay, let's go all the way back to 2014. As an analyst on TSM. Underneath Loco Doco.
Yep.
finally gets the next step, bumps himself up, takes the head coach job of a newly made team, Immortals.
Who did phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then hecka underperformed at
both playoffs. Yeah, a team that you thought was going to clinch, if not at least rival TSM in the finals. No show.
No show. Did not show
And
up.
then, after Immortals let him go, gets picked up by Envy because Envy needs a coach that has experience. I mean, they
needed that.
You're a young,
needed that
new
Immortals
team,
clout.
You needed that, yeah. And now Fnatic picks him up. I don't know who's making calls, but
I don't know either. But his career trajectory went like this, and now Fnatic has him, and fans of Fnatic are not happy at all. So it's just it's really painful. Other than that, the big Gigabyte Marines, the Vietnamese powerhouse all-star team that they clustered together, had a huge shakeup. Stark is leaving to go to higher education, so he's going to their version of university, which is their college. So he's going to do that. He had the shortest pro career ever, coming onto the scene as a pro gamer 3 months before MSI, and then now, literally a week after MSI, is announcing that he is going to perform and pursue educational.
You know that this guy had it made. Like, after a performance like that at MSI as an unknown, and then coming into MSI and showing the world that you can hang with some of the better teams in every region, and then deciding to step back from that to go to university, that takes some giant balls.
He influenced the whole trajectory of that tournament with his Gragas play, having to come up with somebody that counterbalances that in a Galio. And so, Galio and Gragas were the two top lane power picks. He totally influenced an entire tournament, and now stepped away. Also, their ADC is also leaving, so Slay has left. Apparently, he's on a new team because he tweeted out, I don't read Vietnamese, but he tweeted out that I hope my fans still follow me and enjoy watching my play in the upcoming summer split. But Gigabyte Marines did announce that he's not on the team, which means he must be playing for somebody else. But who is he playing for has yet to be announced.
So, as we said earlier, a few weeks ago, to see a all-star team that comes together, completely dominate two regions, technically, to get to MSI, and then to see it fall apart right after MSI is kind of sad, because this is a team that can honestly, if they'd have taken Summer Split, showed back up at Worlds, and made waves.
Yeah, they could have. The way that they performed at MSI and how quickly they built a fan base, very reminiscent of last year's King Killers and Albus Nox Luna at Worlds. Those guys exploded onto the scene.
Everybody loves the Cinderella story.
Yeah, everybody loved it. And so it's weird to see Albus Nox Luna absent from MSI, then kind of have somebody fill their shoes like Gigabyte Marines, and literally a week after MSI, that team is gone. And it kind of blows my mind. Other big news out of MSI, a big black eye on Riot
There was
itself.
definitely somebody missing from the finals.
Because the little man known as Crepo, which everybody, when he announces, is constantly throwing up the tag 14. If you guys don't know Crepo's backstory, I feel like you should read into this. But he had some no-no stuff happen, some nudie pics put out there, and a recorded video and recorded messages. Granted, everything was recorded and released without his permission, but it seems to be that he sent some more information and things unwarranted or not necessary to a girl underage. Underage for North American standards, not underage for where he's from. So, granted, he did not break any laws, so he has not been arrested or anything like that. He is not a pedo or anything like that. But it looks really bad, and before Riot had to do anything, he took the proper way, the man way, and stepped down on his own accord. But it looked really bad for EU, because this isn't the first time something like that has happened for him. This is now
it's not the first time it's happened to any of the casters in EU. So
it's really rough. It's embarrassing that something like that would happen. But word to the wise: if you're ever in a position of power, no nudie pics. Unless you're Kate Upton, just no nitty picks. We don't need to see it. We don't need to know about it. You're not going to see us. We're not going to be twatting out our tweets and tweeting out our twats. We're not doing that. So, just no nitty picks. People should know that. That should be broadcasting 101.
It could cost you a career.
It could cost you a career. And he is, I shouldn't say was, because he still technically has a job, but he is very well liked and has a huge uprising from being the chubby face league player to turning
going pro and then becoming an
announcer. He's well loved over there. Shocks, who everybody loves, well likes him. They're BFFs, I guess. So I mean, it's just really sad to see somebody poor judgment calling. Basically, right now it looks like it's cost him his career. So I feel bad for that. But the weekend of MSI, you had Team Wii versus G2. G2 won that one handedly. Like they put it to him hardcore. I did not think that was going to happen. So they entered into the finals. And then you had SKT clean sweep Flash Wolves, which was just embarrassing. And I really feel like had G2 been in that position, TSM been in that position, Gigabyte Marine's been in that position, you literally put anybody in that position, and I really think that SKT would have done the same thing. It ended with SKT only dropping the one game to G2. There was another game where G2 performed pretty
well. The very
well.
first game where they had the early game, and it definitely looked like they couldn't transcend early game into mid.
But SKT is SKT, and they have a lot of good players to lean on. I mean, everybody on their team is a household name. Faker,
it's not
Peanut,
even like individual skill at this point.
Yeah,
it's the fact that they can adapt better than any other team.
I really feel like right now SKT is the Olympic hockey team, the Russians, and we need somebody. Do you believe in miracles? Like anybody to beat them, and I don't know who it is. Every time you have these big tournaments like this, whether it be Worlds or MSIs, there's always a change of pace. There's always a new patch that's released that they're playing on. There's always a new meta, and teams have to adapt and overcome. And if you can't adapt and overcome, then you can't win. Like, I mean, Galio was forced into play because of the Gragas picks, and Gragas pick was forced into play because Gigabyte Marine Stark was playing it so well. And then if you're not playing Gragas and you're not playing Galio, then you're losing it. If you're not playing Lee Sin and you're letting Peanut nonstop win on Lee Sin, you're losing these games, and it's just...
And it's not a player that you want to give a pick like that to either. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand that at all, because he's literally... I've seen him in one game take every buff in the game. Like, literally deny the other team a single buff.
Peanut, as much as everybody touts Faker as being the world's best, and he is the world's best, Peanut during MSI had one of the most stellar runs I've ever seen. There was a game where the SKT was literally 7-0 in kills, and it was all Peanut. All Peanut. And 4 of those were solo kills while stealing stuff in the other guy's jungle. So, I mean, it was very crazy. Huni carried a lot of games. Just very
Huni
impressive.
on Galio is a champion you need to ban. I'm sorry, Galio
really feel like
Galio is super strong right now and does a fair amount of damage. So giving him game after game on that champion and seeing him literally decide team battles with his ultimate just seems like a no-brainer. Let's spin a ban here. Let's try to get him on a different pick.
And it was so rough because these teams are all stuck on this one track of these are the things that we have to ban. And I mean, SKT's bot lane didn't even really come to play. Like, they didn't need Wolf or Bang to carry a game.
What I do want to make a call out, though, is expect playing Gangplank. I love seeing Gangplank. Anywhere on the Rift, any pro game, bust out the Gangplank. You know there's going to be a lot of action.
Gangplank jungle, we're throwing barrels, baby. Yeah, it was really good. It was a good tournament. Sad to see it end. Can't wait for Summer Split to start, which starts in a week and a half. So our next week's video is going to be our prediction video, and see what happens with that.
Any news that's come out in the next week.
Because in the last couple of days, there's been a flurry of news.
You're going to see a flood of information come next weekend with any possible roster changes, teams that settle in for what they're going to be for next split, and I expect there to be at least another handful of changes.
I do too. Envious still doesn't have a coach. Turtle, amazingly enough, is still on TSM. So, I mean, he's eventually going to go somewhere, right? Like,
they're going to both play.
Yeah, they're going to both play. Yeah, we'll both play. Yeah, no. So, I just... Good Lord. Not going to both play. Eesh. But, yeah. So, next week's our big... prediction video. Probably go a little bit longer because we're going to get in the nitty gritty of each team. Really dissect the Dardoch,
X-Smithy swap.
I gotta say though, extremely classy from CLG. How they let him go, his let it go video. It was very classy.
It brought a single tear to my eye.
It did.
There was a lot of respect in that video.
And there was a huge welcome to the team video for Xmithy. But Dardoch, man, he got the shaft, dude. TL just burnt him with another breaking point video. CLG tried to put out some team building videos where it showed like the team and Dardoch doing some team building exercises. So that was good to watch them play like the floor is lava. But man, just poor guy has a huge mountain to overcome. But
he's got an image problem that he has to fix himself.
He does. But man, this is gonna be. We'll get into that stuff next week. A lot of stuff happening. Hopefully more news breaks, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, good game.
Good game. GG.